Hello and good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1617. It's an easy number to remember. I'm a little later than I have been the last couple days. I was trying to get here early. Ernie had different plans. He decided I'm going to take a dump at 4 a.m. And then he decided I'm going to take another dump at 6, which is when I was going to get up. And I wasn't ready to wake up. And so I took Ernie out to take his second dump of the morning at 6 o'clock and decided I'm just going to go back to bed. And here I am sleeping in. So it's going to be a busy day, though. It's going to be a busy day. I'm sneaking in a 10:30 live this morning. What I've learned during the day is stuff that goes crazy during the weekends in prime time does not sell during the day, during the week. However, 1991 score Joe Montana will move during the day. It's like a Bo Nix select rookie sells for $1, which you can find those in dollar boxes probably fairly regularly. But typically they sell for more on, you get $3-4 usually on live. I'm selling select rookie Bo Nix for $1, and then a 91 score Joe Montana sells for $4, which you can find in dime and quarter boxes fairly regularly. So in that vein, it seems like my daytime streams skew 80s and 90s. Like I'm like nobody really cares, and I shouldn't say nobody, but most people don't care about the Bo Nix and the Jaden Daniels and the Drake May and whatever the modern. Ohtani was still moving well. I'll probably save. I might dabble a couple Ohtanis later this morning, but I'll keep the better Ohtanis for tonight's show. Collector's Corner tonight, 7 o'clock Central. I'm not going to do a blowout sale like I intended last week. I still don't see. There's not a carousel for Collector's Corner. There's not any marketing behind it like I anticipated, and I think most people anticipated. So I'm not chasing numbers for the incentive. Typically, Wednesday nights are a down night, which is, I think, why there's incentives in place to drive traffic to eBay Live on a Wednesday night. So I'm not chasing any numbers, any incentives tonight. I am gonna run some better slabs than a 2000 Collector's Edge Torrey Holt. But I'm not gonna run my Barry Sanders autograph. So or my Taysom Hill or my Brady auto or Brady rookie, the Lane Johnson auto. So that stuff I'm just gonna wait. So we'll see. So yeah. So 2 shows today. 10:30 this morning. We'll do raw singles. I'll do some cheap slabs. We'll do some wax. And then tonight we'll run a little better stuff. Tomorrow night, 7 Central, is wrestling night. By the way, a new card. I'm going to take a loss on this, but I don't care. Sometimes I buy stuff knowing that I'm going to take a loss, and I don't care. Stacy Keebler auto. This is serial number to 75. Stacy Keebler from National Treasures. I think I paid like $75 for that. So I've got some autos. Will I run that tomorrow night? We will see. If there's only 10 people in the room, I'm not going to run the Stacy Keebler auto. If there's 20 in the room and they're bidding, then we'll probably run it. So we gotta get people in the room, and then we'll see how it goes. And then I'll probably sneak in a daytime Halloween show on Friday. Probably aim for like an afternoon show and do kind of a quickie. And then I want to go full bore this weekend. I don't know. I really want to ramp up today. Yeah. So I really want to ramp up the last few days of October. It's my October, like I mentioned yesterday, is not good, which is not really a surprise. I'm just surprised at with what I've bought this month. The margins are down. Now, I'm holding a lot of stuff. I'm holding several $100s worth of wrestling autographs that I haven't run. I'm holding off on the Taysom Hill, the Tom Brady, the Barry Sanders, the Lane Johnson. I mean, that's close to $500 right there. The Undertaker, that was 100 to 150. I'm still. I picked up a bunch of Wemby's. This was in the mail yesterday. Wemby rookie in a 9. I've got this Wemby rated rookie in an 8. I think I got a 10. Franchise features rookie in a Gem Mint PSA 10. I think I've got 2 more Wemby's coming today. So my spend, I don't think my spend was much more in October than what it was in previous months, but actually it was significantly more than last month. I did not, and that also, my spend was way down in September, which is going to affect my October sales. My October spending was significantly up from September, which is going to make November probably, much higher month. Even when I take a look at the margins and, all right, I made this, I spent this. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I still need to do my tax. Our tax year is October 1st is when our fiscal year starts. So I've got to get my taxes. I didn't do them until like mid-December. I mean, they're not filed until whenever anyway. So I've got a decent start because I have been looking closer at my numbers than I typically do, and I have got my spreadsheets made up. But so I really want to make a push here the last couple days of October as we go into November. And maybe I don't do, because I had the deadline of October 31st to get the shipping room cleaned. That's not going to happen. However, I have emptied out quite. Shane came over and put a nice dent in my stuff. Last night I did spend some time, instead of doing a live stream last night. I went through and I started on one shelf, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this right. I'm not just going to, because what tends to happen is I have a shelf on that side of the room, and I'll go through and I'll be like, oh, okay, this is good stuff. And then I'll and I'll put half the box back, or I'll move it to a shelf that I've already gone through. And that's the problem. The shelf that I started going through, it's like I've probably already gone through some of this stuff. So, and I think I had like the bottom 2 shelves, like this is already cherry picked. It needs to go to the storage unit. I just didn't take it. So now I'm putting it on the floor. That tends to get my ass in gear. Take this to the fucking storage unit. Plus, I've got a guy that hopefully he comes back and buys more. He filled the minivan last week, and I'd like to do another deal. So I've got to get more stuff out there. So that's what I did last night. And it's always fun when I go through, I find some stuff, and I found quite a bit of liquid inventory for like daytime sales, like, because when I go to shows and buy singles, when I'm cherry picking, there's not really, you're not finding 80s and 90s stuff in dollar boxes. And if you do, it's not really, I typically, now sometimes I do find from certain dealers, I do find like a Barry Bonds rookie and Kirby Puckett's and some of those 80s rookies for like $2, $3 sometimes. And those do well. But during the day, I'm finding, some of this stuff is just not going to move. I need a night. And it's not like I don't have the audience. I had a consistent, like 30 people in the room, which is really good. Like I'm happy to have 30 people in the room during prime time. So there are people in the room. I think it's background to a lot of people because I don't have as much. Although yesterday there was quite a few different buyers. What day was it? I was sorting through. It might have been, I think it was wrestling. And, I know a lot of stuff was going cheap on wrestling night. On wrestling night, out of 200 auctions, I think I only had 15 or 16 different buyers. So that right there tells you like, ooh, that's going to be when 15 or 16 buyers buy 200 auctions, not good. So hopefully we can improve tomorrow night. I think there were still a lot of glitches last week on Thursday night with eBay Live. So hopefully, knock on wood, we are better. Oh yeah, I got good. I got a lot of sleep. It was interrupted. Sleep interrupted. So today I want to address, and I wasn't going to, but the reason I wanted to, because when I first read it, when I first saw it, it's like, it's a big nothing burger. And then I started seeing everybody's commenting on it, and which doesn't faze me. However, it's when I start getting messages from non-collectors, it's like, okay, now I want to talk about this. So Upper Deck president Jason, is it Mashura? Jason Mashura posted on LinkedIn. So I feel it's overblown, and I feel it's a bit of, if you're within this hobby, like we kind of know some of this. Most of it I agree with. I think my biggest question is, what's the intent behind this letter? So I want to talk about that today. And I also, as I went to Jason's LinkedIn, his previous post basically contradicts himself. He penned this letter 2 days ago, and then 5 days ago he had a post about a sale that basically contradicts his whole point 2 days ago, whenever he posted on LinkedIn. So I want to talk about that. Let's go say hello to the chat. It's hump day. It's trash and recycling day. So I've got to get the bins to the curb. I did not do that this morning. Bins to the curb. What did I do anything? What else did I do yet? Oh, I went to Costco yesterday. I did my live stream in the morning, and I had the rest of the day. Like I caught up on shipping in the morning, did my live stream, didn't have anything to do because you have to wait. Like it's like 12 hours before eBay releases items to ship. For whatever, I don't know, whatever reason that is, but so it's like, oh, I don't have anything to ship. Now what? I don't have anything to list. I do, but I don't want to. Like now, let's go to Costco. So I ran to Costco. I went to the bank, and the bank teller, because I deposited cash, and the bank teller says, "Is this drug money?" Because it was admission money from the gate on Saturday at the card show. And, it's $5 admission. So a lot of people pay with ones. So there's a lot of ones. It looks like I had, was at a strip club or something. Is this drug money? No, it's not. It's not drug. Well, it is a drug to some people, I guess. So went to the bank and then went to Costco, and our concern was they're going to be out of the giant Halloween candy bags. And they were not. They had pallets of them. No concern there. So I bought 2, which we would buy 2 in our old neighborhood. Which had a lot of kids. Our old neighborhood, we would go through 1 bag. And we would open a second bag, but only like this way. I mean, I'm talking the giant Costco bags. And we'd go through like a few pieces, and we'd even eat some. We'd eat some before Halloween. We'd eat some during Halloween. And so we had like most of the second bag still. And we lived there for 8 years, I think. So when we moved to this neighborhood, holy shit. And there's not as many kids in this neighborhood. Certainly not as many as our old neighborhood, but I think they bus them in. We went through, now last year we did 2 full Costco size. We did not open them early. 2 full size Costco candy bags. Plus, I had Pokemon packs, the Score a Treat football and basketball, and Pokemon, which I'll probably do that. I'll probably go. It'll give me a reason to go to Walmart or Target. I think I went through all the Pokemon packs. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember how it all played out. So we went through all the Pokemon packs, all but like maybe 5 or 6 basketball packs, and then I think I had like 10 football packs left. And we went through all 2 bags because my friend Mark came in. He takes his kids to where he grew up in that neighborhood, and then I'm like, hey, swing by. We had he's got 3 kids. I had 2 pieces of candy left from the 2 bags. And I'm like, I hope all 3 of your kids don't want candy. He just had his youngest was with him. So she gets 2 pieces of candy. And so I'm like, oh shit. So now that I think about it, I will have to go get more because I only have the 2 bags and I don't have cards. So maybe we'll do, I'll go get more candy or I could hand out packs of 88 Donruss. I've got plenty of those. All right, let's go to the chat. Gem City, what Upper Deck's president said is not news or a secret. If you needed him to say it, you needed to pay closer attention before. Amen. I agree with that 100%. We're going to get into it. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Peter is here. What's happening? Dan's in the house. What's going on? Gem City says dump hump day for Bug Earn. Big Earn. Max says olds are awake from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Dan says texted with George today. He's doing okay. We haven't seen George in a while. What's going on with George? John says, I can tell by the title that there's no marketing involved. What a dated title for your live situation. Max says Badgers got rid of that shitty Temple kid already. Didn't play a single second. Figures. Yep, he's gone. John says Stacy makes great cookies if it's the person I'm thinking of. I don't know. When's the first Badgers game? Basketball. We're into basketball season now. I know my alma mater had their women's exhibition game last night. Monday. Holy shit, we're coming up on taking on Campbell. Are they the Fighting Camels? Campbell. Monday night. Wow. We are tipping off basketball. Love it. John says, I saw a Pokemon dealer get taken for a ride on Twitter. Dude got taken hard by a customer. That's not good. John says, no taxes needed. Take your time. Fed's taking the rest of the year off. Low Roller says, I saw you got featured Channel 3000 News on YouTube channel about card shows. I saw your face. You are famous. That is correct. Cooter says, well, it's correct that you saw my face and that I was on Channel 3000. I'm not famous. Cooter says, good morning. Pay your taxes. Argentina needs the cash. Orlando says, your room is so full, looking like the storage unit. I know. I'm trying to I need to do a lot of things. Oh, I bought this binder. I don't know why I bought this binder. I don't know why I buy stuff. But it's got some decent stuff for Thursday night. There's some Hulk Hogan cards that I was going through it. I don't know what's here. Like some of these could be, I've got to look through because I don't know wrestling because it's like early 2000s, late 90s. There's some stuff that will do well on my live. There's some other stuff that I don't know if I'll make any money on it. But what I need to do, this is all wrestling over here for the most part. There's some slabs and stuff on top, but it's getting to be messy. I need to get it fixed. David, good morning. I saw the Madison Show TV segment mentioned. It was good, although it made it seem the show was yearly, not monthly. Yeah, I noticed that as well. I don't know. It said the 2025 Madison Card Show. It's like, hey. I don't think they mentioned that. I don't think they mentioned it was annual either. It was just in the title. It said the 2025 Madison Card Show. He got featured. The news, his Madison Card Show on YouTube. Yes. Gem City says you need to program your shows like WGN did in 2000. Matlock cards at 11. Heat of the night at 12:30. Make me moderator. I think that's the last thing I want to do. Max says, been banging that drum since he started, Brian. No use. Money talks. He pivots and drives. Consistency is not good on live sales. Look at, I'm a month in on wrestling night and it hasn't grown. It actually went backwards this past week. And that holds me. If you do, at least on eBay Live and on my channel, what I'm experiencing when I do baseball only, football only, wrestling only, it holds me back and I make less money. I can sprinkle in Hulk Hogan cards and Undertaker cards on a just a random stream, and they'll get more bids than they would on a wrestling night. It's that being able, that flexibility to pivot and not be handcuffed to baseball, football, basketball, is awesome. There's more people that are just in the room like, ooh, what else do you have? What else do you have? Than there are like, well, I want this. And the thing is, if people that are wired that I need to see what's coming up for auction, I'm not the right channel for them because that takes time. And I don't want to spend the time to list a Victor Wembanyama PSA 9 rookie card because I don't think they're everywhere. And that would be catering to the eBay buy it now. It's like, well, I don't want to go on live. Now, like a Taysom Hill gold out of 10, like a Barry Sanders autograph, like Lane Johnson out of 10 auto, that stuff, I think that's important to pre-list. But a Victor Wembanyama rookie, especially anything base that's not rare, I don't think it's important to list ahead of time. Orlando says the hobby is on fire. About $400 million of cards sold online. It's a good thing. Amen. Amen. We're gonna talk a little bit about the current atmosphere and what Upper Deck president said the other day. Cooter says, I am a live stream troller. I turn it on as background listening only for Giants and Ted Williams. I like it. Gem City says, I have some thoughts about Jason and Upper Deck, but first, Orlando is correct. I found lots of Pokemon cards. I didn't buy any. Max says, the intent is to make people realize once the slide starts to happen, everything crumbles. It's simple economics. Plenty of folks already alienated, just a matter of time, unfortunately. John says, now that you're the breadwinner, you should be buying the big candy bars. You don't live at a house like that and hand out the fun size shit. Well, tough. We're handing out the fun size shit. Make sure you have Madison Card Show stickers. I don't. I should make stickers. Can I get them in time can I get them delivered by Friday? John is killing me. Maybe he should give out blaster boxes and fat packs. Yeah. Seeing more social media posts of people leaving the hobby. My LCS said they are getting offered a conceding amount of collections from customers saying the same thing. It is intriguing. It is intriguing. John says, you aren't selling 99-cent cards. You have eBay Live money. Act like it. Concerning amount. Concerning. Cody says, good morning. What's up, Cody? Good morning, Uncle Rich. Lie, button, sub. He means like. Hit that like button. Wrestling cards aren't sports cards. People don't mislead your audience. Cooter, see it happening a bit in Pokemon as well. Plastic economy starting to feel blowback. Let me try to... I am seeing a waning amount of new dealers wanting to set up at the card show, but it's not. I've already booked 2 new dealers for November that normally I don't book. But the reason I booked them now is because it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I know that not all my regulars will be set up in November because it's Thanksgiving weekend. I'm out of town. I got family coming over, whatever. I'm still seeing a decent amount of new vendor interest, but a little less than previous. Nothing in that regard. It's not concerning. I'm not seeing existing dealers exit like I saw back in 2022 on the sports card side after the fallout of the COVID boom. Sports is Pokemon has taken over. Sports is not. It's not like sports dealers are dissipating. It's that Pokemon has grown so much in terms of dealers. That's why you're seeing more and more Pokemon dealers. I'm not seeing a loss of sports dealers as much as a growth of Pokemon dealers. Gem City says, I think it makes sense to have a variety of cards during the lives. You can't expect people to all want the same groceries. Amen to that. Rich says, Jason also said in February 2020, winter is coming to the hobby. John says, I'm giving out handshakes on Halloween. No one seems to do that anymore. I might also hand out cursive examples. And now get off my lawn. Now, a month later, something happened which screwed up that prediction. Gem City says, which I would have said the same thing in March, in April, like, oh, well, it's COVID. This is doom. Quite the opposite. Gem City says there's no doubt that some are having to exit the hobby, but there's also still a fresh stream of people coming in without question. And I still, on a consistent basis at card shows, I still overhear people say, I've never been to a card show before. I haven't been to a card show in 30 years. I still hear that on a consistent basis. John says, I'm hosting a meet and greet at Lambeau on November 10th. Gem City says, Dr. Beckett didn't seem worried about the hobby in a recent interview he did with Professor Sports Cards. Spam likely is in the house. John says, only people worried about the hobby are the people trying to make a busk. Not sure why that isn't easily grasped. Red Light's in the house. Hey, by the way, I found some 75s as I was digging through some boxes last night. So I've got a small stack of 75s along with a big stack of 77s. John says, the more people that leave, the better it is for collectors. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to, so here is the Upper Deck president, Jason Mashra. Posted this on LinkedIn 2 days ago. Everything speculative is up right now. The stock market, Bitcoin, trading cards, and it's pricing some collectors out. Here's what the data shows. 50% of consumer spending in the U.S. is coming from 10% of the population. Rich people are carrying the market, not just in cards, but across every category. Concert tickets, $1,000 for nosebleeds. Luxury goods, selling faster than ever. High-end collectibles, moving at record prices. When boxes cost $1,000 or more, you're not buying for fun anymore. You're speculating. You're betting that what you buy today will be worth significantly more tomorrow. And that works until it doesn't. Sports cards have always had speculation built in. You collect a rookie hoping they become a Hall of Famer. But what's happening now is different in scale. And when markets become this speculative, they become fragile. I'm not saying the sky is falling. Yeah, you kind of are. I'm saying we need to be honest about what's happening. This isn't sustainable growth driven by collectors who love the hobby. This is wealth concentration driving prices that most people can't participate in. And if that money suddenly moves elsewhere to bet on something else, we will all feel it. Now, most of this is no shit. Duh. There are some parts in this, and I want to break this down in my opinion. I agree with most of this. And most of it's common. If you're within this hobby industry, it's common sense for you. But there are some things that is a little bit exaggerated. So let's break this down. Everything is speculative right now. The stock market, Bitcoin, trading cards, and it's pricing some collectors out. I agree and I disagree. Yes, everything is up right now that's speculative. However, I don't agree with the last part. And it's pricing some collectors out. No, it's not pricing collectors out. The collectors that are being priced out are the ones that are, I can't afford $1,000 box of National Treasures. Don't buy fucking National Treasures. Go to Target and buy a fucking blaster box of Tops. They're $25. Collectors have been screaming they're priced out since cards had prices attached to them. Collectors aren't being priced out. All right, second paragraph. Here's what the data shows. 50% of consumer spending in the U.S. is coming from 10% of the population. Here, let's do this. Here's what the data shows. 50% of consumer spending in the U.S. is coming from 10% of the population. Rich people are carrying the market, not just in cards, but across every category. I agree with this, 100%. I agree with this. I would say most of consumer, and I think this is probably almost always the case, isn't it? Doesn't the 1%, the 1%ers carry the spending across the board? Maybe 1%'s an exaggeration on my part, but I completely agree with this. I complete with this entire paragraph. Most of consumer spending is coming from a small part of the population. I think that's obvious, and it's probably always the case. All right, next paragraph. Concert tickets, $1,000 for nosebleeds, luxury goods, selling faster than ever, high-end collectibles moving at record prices. Okay, for the most part, I agree with this. I think $1,000 for nosebleed concert tickets is a bit of an exaggeration. Now, maybe for Taylor Swift, I can go to see Queensryche down at the Alliant at Bratfest for free. All right, that's an exaggeration on my end. Now, most concert tickets, you're not paying $1,000 for nosebleeds. That's quite the exaggeration. Everything else I agree with. Luxury goods, yes, they're selling fast. High-end collectibles, yeah, we just saw a new record. Jordan Kobe, the autograph sold for what, 12.9 million. So yes, high-end collectibles, we've got 7-figure sales more than ever. All right, next paragraph. When boxes cost $1,000 or more, you're not buying for fun anymore. You're speculating. You're betting that what you buy today will be worth significantly more tomorrow. Now, I agree with most of this. Again, he's exaggerating the price tag. Most boxes don't cost $1,000 or more. In fact, the highest regular box, you're looking at like Bowman for $300. Now, $300 for a Bowman box, 10 years ago, they were $60. There's been a significant uptick in sealed wax. Most boxes are not over $1,000. That's an exaggeration, like the $1,000 concert tickets. But while I don't agree with the exaggeration of the dollar amount, I do agree that basically the entire new product sealed wax market is speculation. I mean, you're spending $300 for a Bowman box to get one autograph that's probably only going to sell for $5 or $10, but you're speculating that $5 or $10 autograph today can be worth $50 or $1,000 in a couple years. Talking about the Bowman market, or it's just pure gambling if you're talking National Treasures or some of those high-end products. So for the most part, I agree with this, but I don't like the exaggeration coming from the president of a card company. I don't like the exaggeration because that is a sky is falling statement. These are sky is falling statements because most boxes aren't $1,000 or more. Most concert tickets aren't over $1,000. When you get people reading this, like my friend that messaged me this morning that doesn't do cards, and he's like, holy crap, I didn't realize cards were $1,000 a box. They're not. Some are. Most cars aren't $300,000. All right. And that works until it doesn't. Moving on. Next paragraph. Sports cards have always had speculation built in. You collect a rookie hoping they become a Hall of Famer, but what's happening now is different in scale. And when markets become this speculative, they become fragile. I agree with all this. Yeah. Sports cards have always had speculation built in. You know, today's Leo DeFries is yesterday's Kevin Moss. or Don Mattingly when his rookie card soared, or Joe Charbonneau back in 1981. So yeah, sports cards, there's been speculation since dollar amounts have been attached. You hope rookie cards turn into Hall of Famers. And yeah, today it's a lot different in scale. You're not buying a Joe Charbonneau for 25 cents. You're buying a Leo DeFreeze red atomic refractor numbered out of 5 autograph for $15,000, hoping it becomes $100,000 in a couple of years. So I agree with that. Next paragraph. I'm not saying the sky is falling, and honestly, he's not. Now, some of the statements he says does have the sky is falling mentality behind it, going back to the dollar figures. Pretty much, he's spot on with the exception of the exaggeration of some of the costs. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm saying we need to be honest about what's happening. This isn't sustainable growth driven by collectors who love the hobby. 100%. 100%. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. This is wealth concentration driving prices that most people can't participate in. Now, that I disagree with. Because you can go to a card show, and if you can afford the $8 parking and the $5 admission at the Madison Card Show at the Alliant Energy Center, you can walk up and you can buy a whole bunch of cards. There's 25-cent boxes. Hell, there's even dime boxes. 10 cents per card, people. You don't have to go buy these $1,000 National Treasures boxes. Hell, come out this month, November 29th, Saturday, November 29th, Madison Card Show at the Madison Marriott South, free admission and free parking. You don't even have to pay to get in. And you can find those 10-cent boxes and those 25-cent boxes. You can participate in that as long as you can walk in the door. All right. And finally, his last paragraph. And if that money suddenly moves elsewhere to bet on something, we will all feel it. And we've seen this countless times in the past in different markets, not just in sports cards. Hell, we saw it in sports cards just a few years ago. You know, base rookie cards of Clyde Edwards-Helaire selling for $50. You know, now they're in a dime box and people don't want them for a dime. Now, he had a 250-yard rushing game his debut, which drove that price up. But, you know, if somebody does that today, his base card's not going to be $50. But we did feel that. And I had a lot of dealers who were setting up during that COVID boom. They bought high and ended up having to sell off low. And guess where they went? They went off to Bitcoin or something else. And they're gone. So I found it funny. So that's my commentary on and I'm reading this without distraction. I haven't read the chat, so we can go back and look at some of the chat if there is any. But for the most part, I agree with everything he says, and I think everything is accurate and not really surprising to any of us that are, you know, if you're watching this video, you're not here because you want Bitcoin updates from Low Roller Scratcher. You're here because you have some interest in trading cards. I don't think none of this is not accurate, except for the prices of concert tickets in boxes is a bit exaggerated. So what I found funny is all this is his previous post is about the $12,000 Jay Cutler sale. All right. Now he's singing a different tune to this. A Jay Cutler card sold for $12,107 on eBay, more than doubling his previous record. To most people, this makes no sense. Basically, to everybody, it made no sense. Jay Cutler wasn't a Hall of Famer. He wasn't even particularly beloved outside Chicago, and he was pretty polarized there too. That's all correct. But me, I completely get it. Wait, what? This contradicts what you just stated. The Bears fan has what I call the collecting gene. This wasn't an investment decision. It was about a passion for something that matters to you, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. So there are people out there that are spending stupid money because they're. There we go. All right. Let's go to the chat. Where are we at? Cooter says Dr. Jim will never say anything negative about the hobby. Yes, that is correct. Hear no negative, see no negative, speak no negative. Too many people are listening. I completely agree with that. Red Light says cool. John says when Dr. Jim wants to say something negative about the hobby, he has me do it. I don't mind one bit. Gem City says, Jason, tell me you're losing the hockey license without telling me you lost the hockey license. That's an interesting thought right there. That's a very interesting thought. Max says, read the sky is falling paragraph again. It's the most important part and spoken by someone that sounds like they actually have a brain. So the sky is falling. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm saying we need to be honest about what's happening. This isn't sustainable growth driven by collectors who love the hobby. This is wealth concentration driving prices that most people can't participate in. Yeah, I agree with everything except the last sentence. Most people can participate. Can you participate in the high-end $12 million? No, none of us can participate. I don't think any of us can participate in that. But everything else, I agree with. Cooter can't afford blaster boxes. John says, buy them for pennies on Facebook Marketplace. Retail is for suckers. Max says, can be priced out of products you want to buy. Nobody has wanted to buy shit from Target, Walmart for years. Well, that's the thing. You can be priced. I'm priced out of a $5 million lake house. I really want a lake house. Why can't I have a $5 million lake house? We're priced out of, everybody at every level is priced out of something. That's just, it is what it is. You can buy cards. You don't have to go to Target and Walmart to buy blaster boxes. You don't have to go dig through 10-cent boxes. There's something at every fucking level. You don't want to, if you want new product, go to Target and Walmart. They got every SKU you can imagine. Well, they don't want that. I want National Treasures, and I want a Kobe Bryant auto out of it, and I only want to pay $50 for that box. You can't. It's not going to happen. Make more money. If you don't want to be priced out, make more money. Make it happen. Rich says, good to see all of you, and I have MIL duty today, so I need to go. Have a great day, folks. Oh, okay, Uncle Rich. Sports pack should be 25 cents. There you go. Let's see. John says you have a great day as well, Rich. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You be you, Rich. Having a gay day in Dallas takes courage. Is that the Dallas Buyers Club? 3/5 of Queensryche doesn't count. I think it was only 2/5. Front row NFL tickets are amongst the worst seats in the house. Low roller bozo. It's not like you paying more to sit in the front of the bus. Orlando says cards are a luxury buy, not a necessity. People with money to spend, top 10% always tend to buy the luxury stuff. Max says, you guys in Madison always cry about how minimum wage hasn't kept up, but now when the shoe doesn't fit, that argument is out the window. Typical. Are you talking to me? Just because I live in Madison, I have to agree with all of the politics that Madison. Interesting. LOL, Unicorn Cupcake. Mega Millions. Some same fiends that tell you they have their grandpappy's 1990 Donruss. John says, buy more Upper Deck Golf just to shut this guy the fuck up. Orlando says, collectors will still buy low-end dollar box stuff. Investors, not so much. No, the speculators and investors aren't going to be digging through a dollar box looking to flip their dollar cards to $3 and $4. John says Upper Deck did more good than bad, straight up sleaze. Unicorn says Jay Cutler got drunk, drove around, and bid on his own card. Case solved. Jody, good morning. Gem City says Jason also doesn't do the simple thing to grow his company's sales, open up breaker accounts. Alan, what's going on? The two most recent flagship releases from Topps were $109 for a hobby box of NBA and $89 for a hobby box of Major League Baseball. That is not bad. That's not pricing people out. And now you try to go buy those boxes, and guess how much they are? $250. In fact, they're probably going to be more. Apparently, Fanatics has raised the second wave pricing on NBA basketball, NBA Topps basketball. So those $250 price tags for a hobby box probably going to be $300. So that sucks, but it is what it is. And what's crazy about that is the singles market is dropped in half. Like to buy more, and this is Topps flagship. They're printing the fuck out of it. Have we heard this story in the past in this industry? Have we heard this before? A lot of production, raising prices to meet demand. What happens then? Gem City says, you have a lake house. I have a pond house. I have a pond house. Max says, I want to participate the same way as I did 6 years ago when I was buying lower end boxes then. Zero desire for the $1,000 boxes. You can do that. You can certainly participate the same way as you did 6 years ago. It just takes more money. Make more money. It's capitalism. I thought that's what you were. I thought that's what you believed in. I thought you were a capitalist. Make more money and you can buy more stuff. That's how it works. Welcome to America. Save these sermons for the trick-or-treaters. Max says, nah, that's a fucking garbage argument. Then tell your food stamp people the same. Gem City says, I think Bo just said, go make more money if you don't want to be priced out. I did. Go make more money. Very based, LOL. Upper Deck, where's the Scotty Scheffler cards, you bums? That's like saying I spent $3,000 at Delilah's den and didn't come home with a wife. Spending money stupidly is spending money stupidly regardless of what you spend it on. I doubt the guy that lost money on the Ruth was a collector. If so, they would have sat in that for another few decades, not sell a year later. Yeah, that was I think actually Low Roller brought that up, didn't he? Yeah, I wouldn't buying at the peak of a market and then selling a year later is a questionable move. That was a bizarre transaction. I'm not sure what the intent was on, well, I know what the intent was. The intent was either I need to cash out and get money regardless to afford those boxes of cards that he couldn't, he wanted to afford that he couldn't 6 years ago. But yeah, like buying a Babe Ruth rookie minor league card, whatever it was, or a Mantle 52, like that's like that is an investment. That is an investment. I know a lot of people, oh, you can't invest in cards. Yeah, you certainly can. Now you're investing in Wander Franco. No, that's an investment, not a smart one. I think most would agree. Kind of like you can invest in Bitcoin, but you can also invest in shitcoin. And where's that going to get you? And hell, we don't know where Bitcoin's going to get you either. So yeah, that was an interesting move by that seller. Seriously, Scotty Scheffler is doing Tiger-like things. Where the fuck is he in cards? Does he have a exclusive with somebody else? Is he with like Fanatics or somebody? I doubt it. I mean, it's golf. What does the Upper Deck guy say about skill games? If you want to make more money, then look for free bonuses on skill games. See, there you go. I think it was Bo who sold the Ruth in order to line up some write-offs for fiscal year 2025. My secret is out. Cooter says collectors will collect at whatever price they can afford. The cost of actually living is going up, so higher price participation is going down, which will drive out the flippers and investors. Max says, LMAO, if you can't see the issue in that and your response is just make more money, you won't ever get it. Again, the response I figured I would get anyways. It's capitalism. I'm a capitalist. Make more money. Make more money. Capitalism, Max. John says Scotty Scheffler also doing tiger-like things whilst driving. Cooter says money goes where money can be made. Gem City says last I checked he had no true rookie card. Altcoin will make you the most money since Dogecoin ETF getting this month. I tell you what, that's a false. I have some shit coins. Not making much money in shit coins, low roller scratcher Mike Smith. Here's what let's look at my altcoin investments. I've got like 5 coins. Tezos, all time I'm down 64%. Cardano, all time. Oh wow, I'm up 3,600%. Oh wait, that's not my. All right, I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right, let's go back to Tezos. Tezos. I am down 86%. Cardano, I am down 76%. Litecoin. Whatever happened to Litecoin? Oh, shit. All right. I don't have any Litecoin, I don't think. All right, here's my assets. All right. Tezos. Shiba Inu. I am down 39%. Solana. Oh, hey, I'm up 72% on Solana. SEI. I'm down 72%. And MOG coin. I am down 86%. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Low Roller says, make more money, you pay taxes. Yeah, more money, more taxes. That is correct. Soon to be said, greed is good. Max says, so am I, but that's a brainless response. Make more money. Shut up and make more money. In 2 years, Bo will be Donald Trump. John says, speaking of going down, hope Rich doesn't drive today. Wednesdays are usually his fender bender days. Low Roller doesn't pay taxes. John says, you buy land if you want to make money long term. The North Koreans can't take that from your digital wallet. Unicorn says, you should talk to Cooter about that, Low Roller. Max says, that's what it sounds like, Unicorn. Low Roller says, you bought altcoin at all-time highs. You need to buy now to lower cost of average since it is cheaper now. That's actually probably what I should do. I don't know if I want to buy these, though. Actually, that's how he already sounds, Unicorn. Make more money. That's okay. It's okay. I'm a capitalist, baby. Make more money. Show me the money. I don't care who I sound like. Show me the money. I know who I am. Show me the money. All right. That's what I had for today. Like and subscribe. Later today, 1 hour away. In 1 hour, I'm going to be making that money. We're going to make it rain on eBay Live, 10:30, 1 hour away, eBay Live. We're going to be running some raw singles, probably some sealed wax, starting at 10:30. Tonight, Collector's Corner starts at 7 p.m. Central, eBay Live. I'll be running some slabs. I'll be running some Wembies. Tonight, some Otanis. I'll be running some other stuff, a little better stuff tonight. Collector's Corner, 7 o'clock Central. Wrestling night is tomorrow night. I've got a ton of wrestling sports cards to run tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. Love me some wrestling sports cards, John. That's tomorrow night, 7 Central, wrestling night on eBay Live. We'll probably do a daytime Friday Halloween show. Looking at maybe afternoon, say like 1 o'clock after lunch. And then I haven't figured out my weekend schedule yet, but I will be going live on Saturday and Sunday. We'll see what my schedule allows for the weekend. So let's see. Where are we at? Last couple chats. John says, only way to get rich today is to be a college coach and get bought out, right? Best ROI today. Red Light says, hell yeah. Money, money, money. Run it. All right, here we go. Have a great day. We'll see you in an hour on eBay Live.